Welcome to Entomed.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we are again.
Indeed.
With so many things to talk about. I have been waiting all week to be able to talk about one of the books we're going to talk about today with Paige. Multiple times I've been like, tell me what you thought. And she's like, nope. Saving it.
Not until we're on camera.
Yeah.
For our audience of 13. We love you.
Maybe we'll get to 14 today.
How has your week and life been?
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about my life.
My life's been better.
My week's been good, though. I've had time for reading. I've been writing regularly, which has felt really good. And that makes me feel more myself. So that's nice. Yeah. What about you?
My life has been better now that I have recouped from the horrific October. I needed a full month to be better, but...
And November.
I've had
November was the recovery month, huh?
Yeah.
I just didn't see you. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I meant, yeah. So yeah, I've been doing well. Not crazy at work. I keep joking that it's like, wow, imagine what you can do with your life when you don't have to work weekends or nights.
You actually have a life.
I
think is the answer.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So that's been nice. And I've been doing lots of reading, so that's been nice.
What have you been reading? What's on your nightstand?
Let's start with you.
Oh,
you always start with me.
I'm excited because I've actually read a lot this week.
This week? I'm
going to make fun of myself for a minute here. Well, I finished reading one of the books we're going to talk about today, which is called Dawn by Octavia Butler.
Me too.
And then I am reading a Canticle for Leibowitz, which I highly recommend. We're going to talk about this in the second part of today's episode. I started reading Femina.
Phenomena.
Which we literally sat in a bar and said Femina back and forth to each other for like 10 minutes because it sounded so weird.
I like that you paused. Go ahead.
But this is a new history of the Middle Ages through the women written out of it. So it's a nonfiction book. And I'd picked this up a couple years back in the UK and just now started reading it because I felt like
a great
nonfiction.
cover.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I am reading also a book I picked up in the UK, oddly. Storyland, which is a new mythology of Britain. So little.
Oh, I remember you getting that. Yeah. I was interested in that too.
Well, I'll read it, and then you can read it.
Bring it with us the next time we go, because I like to read stuff like that in
little
the country.
Stories.
So, bring it with you next time when we're in England, and I'll read.
I will do that.
Stories of England. Or is that nonfiction too, or is that like?
It's like fairy tales, but mythology type fairy
Oh,
fables.
that's right. I remember.
Yeah. And then I reread Black Sun because I'm trying to catch up with Paige in preparation for reading the final of the trilogy, Mirrored Heavens. So it's been a really good reading week for me.
Yeah, I guess last weekend I finished Oryx and Crake. I always call it Oryx, but then my sister made fun of me because she was thinking it was like a Lord of the Rings thing. And I was like, okay, you're right, it's Oryx. And then I have been continuing on in the series. I'm on the third book of the Rebecca Roanhorse, which is Mirrored Heavens, which is very good. I won't talk about it here because we'll talk about it at another time, but it's very good. Highly recommend. Maybe start reading it, and then when we talk about it, you can...
It won't be a spoiler.
Yeah, you can be like, woohoo, I get it too. And then I read Dawn because Brenda was like... You have to read this book. We have to talk about it. But it is by an author that I really like, Octavia Butler.
Yeah. We'll switch to the Magical Bowl of book prompts.
Magical Mystical.
What's your song? You have. Oh, okay. Here.
You're correct.
We need to clean our Magical Mystical Bowl. Oh, the last book you did not finish.
Oh, okay. Didn't we do that too?
No, but we ended up talking about it because it was one of the books on it. Okay. But I have new ones since then. So the last book I did not finish. I mean, I hate to say, because some of them I've not finished and I intend to finish. It's just, I know that I'm not reading it at the right time.
That's what mine's going to be too.
Yeah, okay. You go first then.
Yeah, so over Thanksgiving, I actually started Six Crimson Crane because I was in like a young adult moment. But then, like I was telling Brenda, when I go home to my parents, I just like to let the wind and the mood take me, and I'll go to like the local bookstore and look around and then like choose books that way. So I had started Six Crimson Crane on the way there, and I did really like it. I think it started off really well. I'm interested in it, but it was like, this just isn't the time, and I put it down and I haven't gone back because I've kind of moved past the young adult time. But I for sure will finish that. But that's the last book I didn't finish.
I haven't read that one, but I do love Elizabeth Lim's books, YA books. They're very good.
I didn't remember the author's name.
No worries.
So.
I just remembered this book that I didn't finish because I'm looking at my story graph. It's called The Unfinished Harold Hughes, and it is a fake biography of a fictional person.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's by Richard.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, why does that look like Richard Ayoade?
Ayoade. So I love Richard Ayoade, comedian, actor.
So funny.
Has also written books, and his books are ridiculous. And I picked it up on a flight to listen on audio because I am a nervous flyer.
Does he read his own audios?
It's his voice.
That's nice.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's the last one I haven't finished. And I probably will finish it, but it's not so plot driven, just more funny.
Yeah, there's one of his that I want to read so bad because I think it's so funny. He wrote a book about...
Is it the one about View from the Top?
Yes.
Yes, I want to read. I have a hold on it, but nobody has it on audio in the libraries.
Yeah. I'm like, because I saw that movie and I used to be obsessed with View from the Top, which is this ridiculously stupid rom-com from whatever time with Gwyneth Paltrow and Mark Ruffalo. I was obsessed as a teenager. So it must have been like early 2000s, like 90s when it came out. And when I saw that he wrote a book talking about how it was a masterpiece, I was like, I have to read this. I have to read this. This is too funny.
He's wonderful. If you're not aware of Richard Ayoade and you do British humor, funny. Just put his name in YouTube.
Even if you don't like British humor, because I actually tend to not,
typical.
He is really funny. He's just got such good dry wit.
Yeah. Yes, that was my unfinished one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so do we get to just jump into our...
Did we say what we were doing today?
No.
Oh. Today, we will... Class. Just kidding. This is not a class. That. Yeah, neither of us are like, we're both like, no. Friends. Today we're starting our dystopian...
100 years of dystopian literature.
Mystical, magical journey. Just kidding.
Okay. It's 100 years. It's actually, I'm going to call it a baker's century because it's actually going to be 110 years because I wanted to do 1920 to 2020s, which is obviously more than 100 years, but we're going to pretend it's 100 years. So 100 years of dystopian literature, and we're picking a book from each decade to talk about. And we're starting with 2020s and working down. So today we're going to talk about 50 years worth of books, just one book per decade. And these are ones, when I was going back and looking at books in different parts of the century, I wanted to pick ones that weren't common curriculum. So we're not going to talk about 1984. We're not going to talk about Fahrenheit 451 or Animal Farm. I wanted to kind of find other books that were amazing, but just didn't have as much longevity in pop culture. Although some of the books we'll talk about today, I think because they're current, are still living well.
Oh yeah, and they're all, every book that we read, I actually just like randomly, like a lot of these books I just happened to read this year. It had nothing to do with this idea. It was even before we knew we were going to do a podcast. I was just reading, and they're all very, very good. Like I would be like, if you liked these other popular dystopians, or you like dystopian, these are books you should be reading. And even if you
don't like dystopian, which I think for the first one,
I
don't think I was aware when I started reading. So the first one we picked was written or published in 2024, and it's called The Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang, who I believe wrote These Golden Hills as well. How Much of These Hills is Gold is the name of the book. But this is the one we're going to talk about. And I didn't know it was dystopian when I read it, and I just was blown away because it's such an interesting premise. Do you remember much about this one?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the premise?
Okay, we can try. Yeah. Let me try, and then you tell me. Okay. Because it was in the summer that I read it. The premise is you're obviously in a world in the future where, basically there's been a climate disaster. I wonder where she got that idea.
Yeah. Huh.
And she's a chef who's living in London,
I don't remember what city.
I think
the big city.
She's living somewhere. She's an American.
She's living somewhere.
She's an American from California, but she's not living in America. She's living in Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
And she gets invited by this like very rich man to come cook for him, and she gets taken to this place where they're kind of like, it's like where rich people have gone to hide away
above
from
of the pollution.
Yeah.
So it's like up on a mountain peak.
Yeah. And so she's become this private chef for this very rich family, and kind of like the story moves along from there. I guess we're spoiling.
We don't have to.
I feel like we should. We're doing a deep dive.
Okay.
Well,
not
and I feel
all
like
of them.
I feel like but I feel like to understand why this book's good, you have to spoil it a little bit. But maybe
things I liked about this one, there's a lot of post Earth corruption books out there, but this was told from somebody in the restaurant industry, and she clearly, as somebody who's worked in the restaurant industry, you could just tell either Zhang maybe worked as a server or bartender at some point, or a chef, or just did her research. The personality, the attitude is very familiar. And then just this idea, it's just so close to home, of having the billionaire tycoons who have created not just a town on a hilltop, it's like a sanctuary. It's like their own Noah's Ark. They are collecting one of each animal, every species, to try to repopulate if ever the below the mountain earth is no longer polluted, while everyone else is living in squalor.
that's not why they're doing that.
Why aren't they? Oh.
They're going to space.
Oh.
That's a spoiler.
Okay. Not to go down, but to go up.
They do go to space.
Yeah.
They all die.
Okay.
You can cut that out.
Okay. But yeah, I thought it was
satisfactory when they all die.
It's a really fascinating book. It's a slim book. I don't know, what stood out to you? What made you like this book?
I mean, it's a great kind of character study, because like she develops this relationship with the man who invites her to live there's daughter. The man who's invited her is clearly an eccentric. He asks her to do weird things. He's obsessed with French cooking.
Yeah.
And then she's like working with the daughter, who's like a scientist, who's like a part of that repopulation program. And she's like having a relationship, and it's kind of like looking at all these different dynamics. And then you have some like flashbacks to like before, what life was like. And at first she's like very much like, well, this is great because now I don't have to eat like gruel all the time. I get to have delicious food again. And she's like very inspired by the daughter, but then, she slowly kind of watches the different areas where corruption is, or like when she leaves this place and she goes back to like visiting a normal city, she kind of gets a sense of like, maybe what I'm doing isn't right.
Yeah, I think that great familiar question of when you are somebody who you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
So like, she found a job where she could use her skill set as a chef and live and survive, but that job was causing her to profit this person. Not profit, but like giving him what he wanted. And so it's that disconnect, I don't know if I'm making sense, around, like we have to work and make a living, those of us who aren't born wealthy.
Yeah.
And, but sometimes the people we work for aren't necessarily people we agree with and believe in. And at what point do you make that call?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, me too. I thought it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so quick call out. I did this because I couldn't help myself. So that was our selection for the 2020s. But I do have just a quick note. This is from 2022. It's a collection of short stories. How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu.
Didn't it win an award or something?
Probably.
I think it did.
Doesn't say on this edition, but it's amazing, and actually says for fans of the next book we're about to talk about. So just wanted to call that out if you're interested in other books from this current decade. Okay, want to intro?
Sure. The next one we did was Station 11, which you may have heard about by the book or the great HBO series.
I did not watch it.
Both are good. Different, but good. This one's, I feel like, a little bit a different way of telling a dystopian
Very
novel.
different.
Which is what I think makes it good, but I feel like you should probably know that before going in, because if you're looking more for like a plot, not because there is a plot, but like a mystery that's being solved, or like a revolution or something, that's not happening in this.
Yeah.
This is very much set in like the apocalypse has happened, the destruction of all the virus. This one's based on a virus. The virus has like run rampant, but now people are building civilization again. It's kind of like watching, like they do have little pods, and it's watching, you're joining in with one of these pods and kind of watching, and there is a little bit of a mystery, and you flash back to like before the virus with the different characters. And there's some things interwoven, but like it's actually not the point of the book at all. It's kind of like in there, but it's not. You could take it out, and the book would still be very good.
Yeah, I would agree. And this one definitely feels more like survivalist, I would say, than the last one. If that makes sense.
I wouldn't even call it that, because I feel like they have finished surviving,
Oh.
and they're past that point of being like, because they talk about that time of right after, of when they're still having, like, there is still some like, it's now more of like clan stuff, because now they're different clans, and they might have little clan warfares here and there. Oh, and also specifically, I forgot to mention that the people you're following are a Shakespeare theater group. And it's made up of all these old actors from the time before. And they travel around to the different cities. And that's kind of where you can see like the different tensions. But people have already resettled. And it's kind of like watching a civilization start all over again. I feel like it's like past that time where it was like where they were in serious danger, like right after everything. And it's kind of like, okay, now we're not in, but we are in a different time and in a different world than we were.
Kind of like I Cheerfully Refuse. That's what makes me,
right.
by Leaf Anger.
Yeah. That was also considered a dystopian.
Yeah, but it's like they're
very different.
They're fully
dystopian.
living in the and they're just making do.
Yeah, they're just making do, and this is just the world they live in now.
So this was 2014.
Yeah, I Cheerfully Refuse is from the recent. It was published in the last couple of years.
I think, I had it on my, I don't know. But, so that was 2014, another book from that same decade that we could do a deep dive on, but we're just going to give a nod before we move on to the next decade. It was published in 2015 and is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, who is one of my favorite authors. So I just have to nod to it. I just have to nod to it. Let's nod at the book. But this deserves, I think, its own episode at some point. We both love this book and have reread it so many times.
I see this a lot on BookTube as well. Not a lot in terms of like something that's gone viral, but in terms of like people, they'll kind of do what we're doing now, being like, this is actually one of my favorite series.
Yeah, but we're not actually talking about it right now.
Often on like favorite series things. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
I've read it twice now, and the second time was just as good
just as good, even though I knew all the spoilers.
I didn't remember it that well.
What I will say is what's interesting and why I wanted to do 100 Years of Dystopian is because in times, dystopian books are typically written by the author about something that is actually happening in the world, and it's their way of addressing it and escaping it. And I became curious to know, like, some of these books, what was going on in that decade that was causing the writer to write about this and to need this outlet that had to be kind of masked as a fiction book. So some of the older books we'll talk about from like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. Obviously, in the 40s and 50s, we have a lot of ones that were built off of World War II. And then post-Hiroshima, there's a lot of dystopian dealing with nuclear fallout. So just interesting to trace history and conflict through what people are writing about in dystopian. And I would say, this book, fifth season, Station 11, How High We Go in the Dark, and Land of Milk and Honey are all kind of environmental,
100%,
which I think is telling of the last 2 decades.
This one too,
and our next one, which you knew Margaret Atwood I'm pretending you knew this. You knew
she was coming.
You knew she was coming,
but it's not what you think.
I was not going to choose The Handmaid's Tale because everyone knows about The Handmaid's Tale. Still a great book.
Yeah.
Definitely worth reading.
And season 1 of the Hulu show is good. Every other season, don't watch
also
that.
did not watch the show, but I loved the book.
Season 1, very good.
So this is called Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood, and it was written in 2003. And my personal story about reading this is I picked it up in March 2020 and started reading it and had to set it down, and I did not pick it up again for 2 years because it is about a pandemic that decimates the world. Mm-hmm. And we were at the start of the pandemic, and I started reading it and I just went, I can't handle this right now. But I went back to it and was just completely moved by it. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you do the synopsis because you probably have a fresher memory, and I haven't heard what you think of this yet.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I really liked this one. First of all, Margaret, this is so shocking, but Margaret Atwood is a good writer.
Nobody knew. We're telling you something brand new.
Very strange, but she is quite funny. Like, I laughed out loud several times. Her character, Jimmy, is that his name? Yeah,
that sounds
Jimmy.
Right, yeah.
He is so interesting. Actually, the 3 main characters are Oryx, Crake, and Jimmy, but you're learning about everyone through Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And okay, premise first. Sorry.
Get organized.
I'm like, I just am so excited. This is how I talk to Brenda about books. She's like, but what is it about?
What are you saying though?
What is it about? That's actually so hard for me to describe, but you
That's why
are following
I gave the question to you.
A main character named Jimmy, but now he goes by Snowman. And the way you're introduced to him is he is, in my head, I was imagining he was on an island. I realized later in the book that he's just, he's by a beach. He is on a beach. Mm-hmm. In my head, I was like, island. And he's got these young children around him who call him Snowman, and he is the person who knows everything. You don't know why these children know nothing about the world, period, and he's explaining it to them. And then you slowly learn, he kind of goes through his memories and his time, and you slowly learn more and more about him and about this world through him. What I liked so much is you do go back to his childhood. He talks about his childhood. He talks about like his interactions with his parents. You just get a really good understanding of who this character is. And as he gets older, he definitely does things that you're like, Jimmy, why are you acting like that, Jimmy? That's not great. Also, like, oh my God, I have so many thoughts. I never got to talk to you about this. I don't even know if this will be any good because I'm going to be like,
we saved this for this episode, and I have been waiting to hear your thoughts.
Okay, first of all, so this will be fully spoiler, so just be
Oryx
prepared.
And Crake spoiler.
Yeah. The first character that you meet is Oryx. Oryx and Jimmy become friends as kids. And the way that he's introduced is, I love that Jimmy's mom says that he's a sophisticated mind because Jimmy is treated by his parents like an idiot. Like, he is treated like he's a dum-dum. And it's like, well, you didn't really turn out the way we expected, but that's okay.
But we tried. We tried to sculpt you.
And, like, they're constantly condescending him and fighting amongst themselves. So you meet, Crate. Did I say Crate
No,
before?
you said Oryx.
I meant Crate is the boy. You meet Crate first. And Jimmy and Crate meet, like, I don't know, when they're in their early teens or something. Like 14, 13.
I don't remember at all.
And they, like, go after school and they watch things and you learn about, like, what they're doing on the internet. They're on the internet together. And the way they both first meet Oryx, do you remember that?
No. I haven't read this since 23.
Oh, there's
2 whole years.
There's trigger warnings in this book.
Oh, I forgot.
Like,
major.
So Oryx is someone who has been sold to sex slavery. And they're watching a porn site. They see a video of her and she's a child.
This is why it got banned.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jimmy has this visceral experience because she looks at the camera in a way that makes him be like, I don't know.
She saw me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then later, way later, he's an adult. He's turned into this philandering man who just uses women to make himself feel good. He's definitely the type of man that it's like, I don't feel good about myself in any other way. The only way I feel good about myself is that women like me, and I can make them feel like they can save me. and then he'll start to be like.
Don't do that, men.
He turns into an awful man, 100%.
Yeah,
and I liked Jimmy so much. When Jimmy was in his philandering stage, I was like, Jimmy, I get it. Your parents weren't nice to you. I get it. But you're smarter than you think you are.
Yeah.
You challenge Crake.
Nature over nurture. Wait, nurture over... Nope, that doesn't apply.
Anyways, way later, Crake comes and gets Jimmy. He's working at some place as an advertiser. I guess I should also say, like, Jimmy and Crate go in different paths because Jimmy doesn't get into a very prestigious college, and he's only has a couple pathways open, and Crate does get into a very prestigious college. And Crate basically is like, I need you to come work for me now.
The way you say crate sounds like you're saying crate.
Crate.
And I'm like, I know she's not, but I keep hearing crate now.
Crake. Maybe I am saying it.
I don't know.
Who knows?
No, I think it's my ears.
It could be both.
It's my ears. They hear things.
Anyways, when he comes back, this is where you meet the children for the first time. They're Crake's children.
Crake's.
Who he's created as a perfect human species.
This is the parts that I remember the most.
And he's talking about how he's telling people that what he's doing is trying to save the world through these little beings. I don't remember how. But
yeah, it's supposed to be like for post-nuclear war, right? Like to repopulate the Earth?
No. It has something to do with genetics and something like that. But it wasn't... Either way, he keeps saying, like, what he's doing is good, and Jimmy keeps saying, Crate doesn't care about humanity. I know he doesn't. That's not what he's doing. And he meets Oryx again for the first time in real life, because Crate, when he was in college, they have these services where you can say the exact specimens of what you want, and they'll give it to you, and he asked for this girl. And I think it's very bizarre that both of them saw her in a not great position as too old to be lusting after her. And both are obsessed with this girl.
Yeah.
I love her character. Jimmy is obsessed with, like, mining the trauma of her life. And she's just like, Jimmy, that wasn't me. I didn't do those things. Or if he, like, pushes and pushes, she'll be like, he wasn't bad to me. He was fine. He was a good man. Da-da-da. Like, I love that she's just kind of like, I don't want to engage.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to relive my trauma.
Not even like that. She's like, I don't want to engage in whatever weird shit's going on with your obsession with me. And this weird your obsession with what you perceive as my trauma. Yeah. Like, it's not a trauma for me, it's mine.
This is reminding me of a movie. Sorry, keep going.
Anyways, I'm just like blabbing on and on and on because I liked it so much. But finally, at the end of the book, you find Crake. What he has orcs going out to all these, like, basically, what are they called? Brothels.
You haven't talked about the inciting, like, the pandemic part of it.
That doesn't happen till the end, Brenda. I was so shocked that you got that.
Why don't I remember this at all?
You have no idea why Jimmy is alone on an island with these children until the very end. That's what makes Margaret Atwood so good, because she just leaves it, and then it's just like Jimmy... So what happens is Jimmy's working there. He gets a call. Crate is gone. Oryx is gone. He gets a call that's like, there's huge virus. We need to shut down the program. You have to say, right before this happens, actually, both Crake and Oryx ask him if something happens to them, will he take care of the children? Mm-hmm. And then, like, at the at the like climax of the book, he's like locked in. Crake comes back. And he's like, I have Oryx with me, let me in, because he's locked everybody else out, because that's what he's been told to do. And then as soon as he opens the door, Crate slits Oryx's throat, and then he kills Crake, and then that's why he's all alone. It's the craziest fucking story.
Yeah, it
really
is.
And then it just says all you find out is that Crate did it. You have no idea why he did it, other than you get little glimpses when he's younger of him talking about doing this. It was
she's just a genius. So many.
I thought about this book for days because, like, it's such a good character study of these three people, but it's only through this one character's eyes, so it is a little bit skewed because Jimmy has his own shit and you know it, and she makes it very clear what his shit is and how he perceives people. But man, oh man, was I obsessed. such a good character study. I was like, why did you do that, Crake? Why did you do that? Why do you hate humans so much? But like, you're a mad genius. What's going on with orcs? Why is she so resistant to talking about, like, she fundamentally had bad things happen to her, but she has this like weird understanding of like, my family didn't have any money. This was the only way they could make money. And like, she generally feels like she maybe made the best of a terrible situation, but you cannot be sure because it's not through her eyes, it's through Jimmy's eyes, who is obsessed with trying to figure out. He has this weird like fetish around the trauma. And it's like, Jimmy!
I love how you say
Jimmy!
Jimmy!
Anyways, I love.
You're making me want
Oryx
to
and Crake.
reread
it. So good.
Because I'm realizing how much I've forgotten in only 2 years because I have no memory.
So good. It was so
good. But yeah, I wish I had more to say, but I'm not.
That was just me being like, blah, 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 blah,
all I can say is I made her read it, so good on me.
No, it was so good.
2003, Margaret Atwood, and we are now going to jump into the 90s.
Cool.
And this won't be a deep dive, this next one. We're only going to deep dive on a few.
Next. I, who have never known men.
Written.
What a bliss.
In Truly, folks. This was written in 1995, and it has lately kind of had a resurgence. New editions pushing it out.
I didn't know it was from the 90s.
Yeah. I only picked it up because they reprinted it with a new cover, and the title, I Who Have Never Known Men, of course I wanted to read that.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about this and whether this is actually dystopian. What are your thoughts?
In like more sci-fi or more just speculative fiction?
Because I think dystopian is normally
philosophy.
Like when society has gone astray and there's a new society. There's like a dystopian society operating. And I think in the bunker, well, let's talk about what it's about. Let's go on all our tangents, as we always do.
If you haven't read it, this episode will make no sense to you.
We won't do spoilers, but this is about women specifically, who are entrapped in a bunker or imprisoned in a cage, watched over by guards, and that's their life, is living entrapped. And they don't know if there's a world outside. No,
there's a main character.
She has a good memory. I don't.
Wrong.
Not everyone.
She's the only one who was a child brought into the bunker. So all of the other women do remember the world before.
She's the only one.
She does not.
Was she born in the bunker?
No.
Because I thought that was why she had never known.
No, she was just very, very young when
so she has no
was brought
memories.
into the dunker.
The bunker. We're doing great.
She's the only one that has no memory, so she's getting all of her information from these women.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a look at what it's like to live in that isolated of a world, and of course the premise is she does meet a man. The guards are men. And it's her understanding of men through that one person. And also just the relationships between the women.
It has a little, like,
pretty
I would
dark.
say this book's very philosophical.
Yeah.
And it's got some, like, cult things in it.
Definitely.
A big theme is, like, a big thing, her big rebellion is, like, they can't know what I think. And so she has private thoughts because they are very strict about how she interacts with the guards and this and that. And when they see her interacting with one of the guards, they get very upset with her.
Yeah.
And so her like rebellion is like, well, I can do whatever I want with him in my head.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh! I just remembered that scene.
Yeah. So it is. It's like some people might hear, it's very philosophical and be like, oh, I don't want to read that. Not in a heavy way.
Not in a dense, pedantic way.
No, not in like a real. I mean, I wouldn't like that either.
Yeah.
I think
either. It's just interesting thoughts and questions about humanity.
Yeah,
but in a very approachable way.
Yeah, 100%.
And a very dark way.
Yeah, it was a very good book. Yeah.
So that was our selection for the 90s. Notable mention. Is also from the 90s.
I haven't read, but it's so funny she put this, quick side story, it's so funny she put this on here because like I have this year keep seeing this book
Memory Police
and wanting to pick it up. And I haven't yet. And then I saw that she had read it, and I was like, well, I wish you had told me, I would have read it.
So this is a shout out to my friend out there, you know who you are, Hilda, who recommended, she knew I was doing 100 Years of Dystopian and said, this is from the 90s, have you read it? Japanese writer, the premise is basically there are memory police, and they choose objects, and that gets deleted from people's memories. So it might be sticky notes. You don't know what a sticky note is anymore. And they're all living on an island, and things are disappearing. And that's all I'll say about that, because it's not our main book. But great read, also from the 90s, dystopian, very melancholy. So if you don't want to be sad, maybe don't read it in this moment.
I love a good sad book.
So we are at the last book, Countdown. We are now in the 80s. And we have a selection from the 80s that we referenced earlier. It's Dawn by Octavia Butler, which is the first book of the series Lilith's Brood. It's hard to say without lisping. And I finished this, and I went, what? Huh? What's going on here? How do I feel about this? I don't know. So I made Paige read it, and I'm so excited to know what you thought of it, because I don't know if I was perturbed, which I think is always the point in her books sometimes.
100%.
So the premise we'll start with is character wakes up, which if you're a writer, you're told never to do. But if you're Octavia Butler, you can do anything you want, and it works so well.
Well, she wakes up a couple times.
Yeah.
So there is a mystery.
There's a lot of waking up that's happening. She wakes up, and she emerges from this plant-like pod that has been keeping her alive. And there are aliens.
There's an alien.
There's an alien.
There's an alien.
I'm not going to say it
I've
again.
had 3 cups of champagne, and she's had 1.
I had a half a cup. This is just how
Which one of us is drunk?
Not me.
That's not normally the way it goes. Anyways.
What, that I'm normally drunk?
No. I meant because you're stumbling over your words, and I am not.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So she finds out, she starts learning about what has happened, and basically the Earth, humankind, does not exist anymore. These aliens have rescued some humans and have been keeping them in pods and have a plan to repopulate the Earth. Are we doing spoilers with this one? Okay. Plan to repopulate the Earth, which involves genetic mutation between humans and aliens. But they'll try waking up a human, and the humans will freak out so bad they have to put them back to sleep in the pods. And she is the human they've chosen to be the leader of this group that they hope to send to Earth. And so the story is her kind of waking up, learning about these aliens, grappling with what is real, who are these creatures. They don't look human, but they're human-like. And then eventually she is elected to start selecting the people she wants to take to Earth and start waking them up and preparing them. So that's kind of the arc. Look how well I remembered that when I've only read it a week ago.
Yeah.
Makes a difference for me. But
I
just really wanted to hear your view on, because there's a lot of sex in this book with aliens. And
I wouldn't say a lot, but there is sex.
And it's not like every page they're having sex. But that is I think the interesting thing that stood out to me, and not from a voyeuristic view, but it's an interesting topic because there are some ethical questions, and I was curious how that landed for you.
Yeah, I think you probably primed me a little bit, and I also had read another book by her where I think she's doing a similar thing of taking something. She makes it very clear at the start of the book that humans are repulsed by these aliens. Yeah. That they are very uncomfortable with them, that they have these tentacles that they do not, like when she first wakes up.
They do not enjoy.
When she first wakes up, I chose to not say that, but okay.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
She is huddled in a corner,
naked,
don't come near me, I don't want this, da da da.
Yeah, they always wake up naked.
And then she's the first human that they're able to get her comfortable enough with
the aliens.
With this one alien, and then he takes her to this family. And then she meets this child alien who has actually been selected for her, that she grows with and begins to love which is an interesting process. And then the alien goes through basically puberty, alien puberty, where they get the tentacles.
They get their sexual organ, which is an arm tentacle.
I think that's multiple tentacles.
Yeah, I think 2, right? Don't they get 2?
I always imagine tentacles everywhere.
I'm touching my armpits because this is where I imagine they have tentacles everywhere, but they have specific sexual organ tentacles that come underneath what she thinks of as their arms.
I had a very hard time imagining what these aliens
I clearly
look like.
have a very strong visual. I'm like, no, you're wrong. This is what they look
No, that's
like.
fair enough. Because definitely my brain was like, I can't quite figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I will say, like, Octavia Butler, the first couple sex scenes, so she starts waking up humans and she actually falls in love with this human man. And the first sex scene, she's projecting images. The way it's described is, I'm projecting images in your mind and it gets off the man and the woman together, but it's them imagining each other together.
It's fully mental stimulation.
Yeah.
Like the alien isn't actually touching them, it's touching their brain.
Oh, so they really weren't touching them in that.
I
wasn't sure. I was like, because sometimes what Octavia Butler does in order to like get you used to something so that by the end of the book you're like, gross, why is this normal now? She'll not fully describe it.
Yeah.
So that you're not totally grossed out by it. So in my head, she made it mental, but I wasn't sure because I was listening.
That's what I got from it, was that it was
only mental, yeah.
The alien, because it does it alone with her too, but it's he mentally stimulates her, and that's how they have sex.
It's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl?
Yeah.
No, wait, isn't it a they? The alien?
They call it an it. They don't say they, but it says it's a girl. Says, I'm a girl.
Because the aliens have boys and girls, and then they have a third gender that, I don't know if it's neither or both. I don't remember the term she used, but there is a third gender.
I do know
and
that
only one of them can
when describing
repopulate.
it was it. But I remember the alien was like, I'm a girl, and that was like a big point contention when some of the humans were waking up because they kept calling her a boy, and she was like, that's a girl, that's a girl. So I know.
So also questions of gender in here,
for sure. Anyways,
one of the things that's interesting is Lilith definitely falls in love with this alien, and but at the same time, the idea of giving birth to a child that is part human, part alien, she is against from the get-go. So even though she's playing along with like trying to make the humans comfortable with the aliens to get to Earth, her plan is to get them able to survive to Earth, and then they'll escape the aliens before they are used to create a new race of human alien beings. So it's this interesting, like, she loves the alien, but she doesn't want to do what their mission for her is, but then she does a lot for them that normally you think a human would do. It's very, it just, I don't know if it just left me unsure of how to feel. Is how I ended up, which normally for me is like, well, that's good. It's making you think. Yeah. Which is why I read books like this.
Yeah, because there are definitely there's that scene that's definitely very like, this is very predatory and feels inappropriate. But then there's also many scenes where the alien, like you're following Lilith's journey, so you also do see that the alien isn't a bad person or a bad alien. She's not a person.
Yeah. And is more caring than some of the other aliens are, for sure.
So you kind of understand like Lilith's difficulty with it, and a lot of the humans also who are stuck here, the reason they don't believe that they're on a ship, so that's why they're trying to escape, because they think they're still on Earth, and that they don't understand what's happening, but they're like that. And Lilith knows she's on a ship because she's been there long enough to know.
They showed her the walls.
Yeah. So I do think, like, those scenes I definitely was like, okay. But I also, maybe I was a little bit more primed. It didn't really make me think all that much, but maybe I was more primed, and I feel like maybe for me, fledgling,
that was more that reaction.
Yeah, more that reaction for me. And maybe it was also because you primed me. Because I think you brought something up. You said something to me.
The aliens, and I want to know what you think about it.
No, I think I said, because at the start of the book, the first alien she meets is quite charismatic, and I think I told you, I was like, I'm having a weird, like,
crush on the alien?
Yeah, because he's, like, very, but he goes away, you don't even see him again. You see him here and there, but he's not really a big part of the story, apart from the beginning. And I thought maybe that was the way she was going to go, is have it be him. Where you yourself are fighting with yourself of like, do I like this or do I like this? Whereas it's interesting that she made the main alien that this human falls in love with start as a child. Yeah. And then become an adult. And she like helps her through that process. And that, because I don't think she's in love with her romantically. I think she has love for her.
She's not, yeah. That's a good distinction for sure.
And I think that's why she is very upset when she finds out that she's pregnant. And the alien's kind of like, well, I had to do it. I couldn't lose you as well. And I only had so much longer with your partner's sperm to be able to create it.
The aliens can only procreate through union with both a man and a woman human. So for the aliens to procreate, it has to be alien, man, and woman. So it's 3 people to procreate. I almost said to recreate.
To recreate.
That too.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I didn't actually think that much about it. And for me, I didn't love this book as some of her others. I definitely read the whole thing. And I think there was parts of it where I was really sucked in. But towards the end, I was kind of like, okay.
It was just, for me, it was just a bizarre read. And honestly,
for sure, it is bizarre.
Trying to pick a book from the 80s, a dystopian book from the 80s that I really liked was difficult. And here I'm probably going to make enemies. But I tried reading William Gibson, who
people love.
Bros love. I'm gonna put it out there. I think mostly dudes love William Gibson. He wrote Count Zero in 1986, which is the start of a very famous series. And I have this thing with myself. I have to read half of the book before I'm allowed to say I'm not going to finish it. And I couldn't finish it. I read half of it, and it just felt so... It's like Mad Max, Blade Runner... but not in a good way, just like in this very macho, very, very macho heavy way. And I saw that in a lot of the books from the 80s, except for Dawn, where it was really driven by like these macho characters being kind of cyberpunky. So I tried Count Zero. I also tried a book from Japan from 1984 called The Arc Sakura by, I believe, Kobe Abe. I'll check that if I'm pronouncing it correct. And that one also very interesting premise, but again, only one female character, and she's there basically to have her butt slapped. And it was just hard for me to like get over that, to enjoy the book, because the men, like they call one of the men, they refer to him as a pig. And there's just like a lot of, 80s, like fat shaming, sexism. And it just, I did finish the book, but it just wasn't for me. One that I will say next to Dawn, which I would recommend, also from the 80s, which I was shocked to realize this, is V for Vendetta. This comic book graphic novel came out in the 80s, which is just crazy to me. I don't know why I thought it was more recent than that. But Alan Moore and David Loya, you've probably seen the movie. Try reading the book that it's based off of. Yeah. Great read. Very different premise for dystopian than I think any of the other books we've talked about so far.
I haven't read that, but I've seen the movie.
Environmental. And this actually also fits with that, like, post the world was polluted. But this is more around fascism.
I thought there was a war.
Was there a war?
I remember them, because they all remember, and they were like, because they at first think the aliens, they ask, what side are they on? Because I feel like there was like a literal world war.
But I thought it involved nuclear weapons.
Maybe so. Yeah,
decimated.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So we've got Dawn from the 80s, I Who Have Never Known Men from the 90s, Oryx and Crake, 2003, Station 11, 2014. Oh my gosh, my hands aren't big enough. 2024. Land of Milk and Honey. So that's 50 years.
That was Brenda's magic trick.
Yeah, that was my magic trick. 50 years of dystopian lit. And we will be doing another 50 years next time maybe not immediately next time.
But
we're going to keep counting down until we hit 1920s.
So that is our show. If you like any of these books and you've read them, please let us know. If you have recommendations of like, if you liked this, you might like this. Yeah. We always love that. Yeah, let us know your thoughts down below. We never tell people to like and subscribe.
Oh my gosh, how could we? That's because we're bad at social media.
I know. Yeah. It feels weird and pandering, but
we're going to pander. Like and subscribe.
You might as well.
Help us keep doing
Especially if you're a stranger.
Yeah. But also, if you're a friend, you better be liking and subscribing.
Better be.
Cool. Well, this has been Entomed, and we will see you next time. Yeah, let's, so...
Here we go.
What's
my issue meant?
Oh, what's that from?
Oh, come on, 90s. It's 90s, not Hustle and Spice. What is that name? That 90s group name?
Salt and Pepper?
Salt and Pepper.
Oh, really? I was right.
Thank you.
Spice?
Thank you.
Not even
Not
close.
the same, but...